we go. All right, on today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we are doing a Dare to Compare, and I'll have the Beard tell you about what we're going to compare here.
So, a while ago, one of the first videos that we did was an unboxing, first look at the Joyo Tremolo pedal.
Right.
And so one of the reasons we picked that up was it was like $30.
Right.
Brand new Amazon $30 pedal. And it was supposedly a clone of the Cesar Diaz Tremodillo. And so on this Dare to Compare episode, we have the Cesar Diaz Tremodillo. Pat's had this pedal for a long time. Yeah. I was never a big fan of Tremolo until I started playing with Pat, and I kept hearing this pedal from the other side of the stage. And let me just tell you, it's amazing. It sounds full band. Yep. Everybody's playing. He kicks that thing on. It sounds amazing. In fact, the first time I saw Pat play, before I was playing with him, involved with him, even knew who he was, I remember sitting out, listening and thinking, okay, he has something up there. And I'm a big fan of Leslie pedals, big fan of Vibe pedals. I'm like, what is that? That sounds great. And it's this Tremodillo pedal. So it was kind of cool to pick up the Joyo, the clone of it. And so we're going to do a little Dare to Compare. So what we're really doing here is taking a $30 pedal and putting it up against the Cesar Diaz, where if you go to Reverb right now and look at them, I have them in my watch list. You might find one for $350,
yeah.
But more often than not, you're seeing them $450, $500. I've seen them above $500, $600. He could probably make a mint selling this one, but I know he won't.
Well, because I'll tell you why I won't. We end up telling stories all the time. I've had the privilege of meeting Cesar Diaz on many occasions because he would come to the Philadelphia Guitar Show because he lived in the Poconos. So he would come down to those shows, and if you know anything about him, he worked with SRV and Clapton and a bunch of other people. Super nice guy. He built these by hand in his place in the Poconos. So a good friend of mine I recorded with, Bill Campbell, had a studio where I probably recorded one of the first times. He had one, and I'm like, what is this magical thing? So he tells me about it. I then meet Cesar. I talk to Cesar, send him email. He builds me this blue one, and it's signed by Cesar on the inside, and he built my good friend Brody Hutchins one that I think is red and signed it for him on the inside. So to your point, I will never sell that pedal because Cesar signed it on the inside, and Cesar, as some of you may know, is no longer with us.
But make sure you tell your son that story. So
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
And he can reap the benefits of that.
There's a couple things in the collection I really got to cue my son in, and all of.
Well, that's why we're doing these videos too. So.
Right, there are memorials. Now this, again, we're getting way down the rabbit trail, but this is my only PRS that does not have Paul's signature on it, because all my other ones where there's a cover, Paul has signed 4 of my PRSs, but I put it on the inside of the jack so you'll never see it. So I must alert my son immediately that they're assigned to me inside the guitar. So again, I'm not braggadocious, although I'm talking about the story, but I put them where only I know they're there for posterity's sake. So anyway, so the Diaz pedal, fantastic pedal. Apparently it's like a Nat Geo episode. You got a snarling dog and like a armadillo here. And so we're going to couple it with a few things. The Zen Drive, where we did a Dare to Compare the black Zen Drive against the red Zen Drive.
There's an unboxing too, though.
Yeah, because
we're a big fan of the Zen Drive.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels killing us all. And then down here on the edge of the camera here was the TC Electronic Gauss Tape Echo that was part of the Black Friday sale that we did an unboxing of all 6 of our TC pedals that we got during that sale. So all of these pedals, except for the Tremodillo, has made an appearance. So, again, supposed to be a clone, right? But we immediately, on the show that we did this one, talked about that it's only got one switch. So, the Diaz pedal, let me just turn that on first real quick. So, I'm going to turn it on, and then I have to stop talking for a second. I'm going to turn it on, and you can see the rate flashing there, right? And so, I have it set to where there's a pretty decent blend between the guitar and the pedal, and it sounds like this. I could end the show right there. That's fantastic. But the other thing this does is a rate where, depending if it's on or off first, it doubles it. So now it's... So just that particular thing there makes it not a one-to-one comparison because you can't cut the rate whichever you want to look at it here. So try to set it to where I would use it. Most of the time, I use it probably on this slower setting. I can't say most of the time, but I'll start on that slower setting. And I'll play something, and then through the magic of Jason, he will flip between the two pedals and try to play the same thing. So I think on this Dare to Compare, we're just kind of maybe trying to get the rate and everything set similar, just so you can maybe hear some of the tonal differences, if you will. But again, a pedal that's not made anymore, a pedal you can pick up on Amazon for $30, $35. So
Yeah, and I think that's the thing.
yeah,
Is it going to sound as good as the Tremodillo?
right,
Probably not.
right.
For the difference between $300 or $500 used
Yeah.
and $30 on reverb, and how much do you use a tremolo pedal? That's what we're looking at. Is it worth?
Well, and not to put ourselves out of a job, but I think John Bollinger interviewed G.E. Smith, and G.E. Smith has one of these. It's amazing. But I joked before that what the tax on this pedal is what you would pay for this pedal. But,
Right.
So, enough yammering. I've already played a little bit. I'll just play again something, simple.
I don't know if it's $500 more, but it is
Right.
better.
It is better, and again, maybe it's not exactly fair because you've got rate and dwell, and basically this dwell is the blend between the guitar signal and the pedal, and this intensity is kind of like that, but not exactly. But yeah, there is a warmth to this pedal that is just magical. I can't even tell you. But again, if you've never played one of these and you pick this up, and let's just do a little rock anthem drive there, like go ahead and hit that Zen drive, or you do whatever you want, like. Is it over? We declare the winner.
It was start. I mean, I don't know how it's going to come across on the recording, but sitting in the room, man, that is night and day.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the Joyo is bad.
Right. No, it's not.
It's not. But man, that Tremodillo just sounds so.
Right.
All right, let's put a little drive on.
Yeah. That I can't. Clearly, I'm speechless. That pedal is it's great, and I run like a lot of my time-based effects and everything through the loop, but I love the way that particular pedal hits the front of an amp. I've tried to put that in my loop, and I don't like it. You put it in the front of the amp, and it does that, and it does that whole sputter thing, and it's really, really warm.
How do you get it? So one of the things that I struggle with, like you see, like I bought a tremolo pedal that does everything, man. You can change the sine waves, you can get all the different waves.
It slices and dices.
Right, you can do everything. It has a tap tempo on it, and it doesn't sound near as good as that. It probably, I don't know, maybe we should demo it on here, but I don't know. How do you without the tap tempo?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask me that question.
Right, because this is the question I ask him all the time, but maybe with the video camera on, he'll actually have to try and come up with
and I don't know, because
answer.
I'll be honest with you, I have, let me just do a comparison to delay real quick. I have a carbon copy, I have a bunch of like analog delays, but then I have the TC, not this one, the bigger one, sorry, the name's escaping me.
The Nova.
The Nova, right? The Nova has a tap. That's the only tap that I have. Of course, I bought the Carbon Copy Deluxe that has a tap. But before that, I would have my Carbon Copy set on something that I like to use for lead. Maybe something like this. I'm not... Something kind of like that. He likes the 1, 2, 3. I like a little bit more, a little bit longer. That when you're playing these, solos, that you get that whole swell out of it. So I say that to say I would put my carbon copy, set it away. That no matter what we played, I could make it lock in with the band. And I don't know if it's partly because I've said in other episodes I do a lot of palm muting, so somehow I can cheat it or bury it. I'm playing while I'm talking, sorry. Cheat it or bury it that it's not a thing. And so when I play the Tremodillo, the same thing kind of happens. I just end up picking and it just kind of swirls around and somehow locks in. I don't know if it's like Cesar from Beyond the Grave. I don't know. And then because it has the cut time and the double time, I don't know. It just
it will drive. I think any of those, like a micro vibe or uni vibe, those in my experience sometimes will drive the band.
And that
like if you kick it on,
sure.
And
because we don't play,
it's close to what we're doing.
We don't play to a click, and maybe I finesse it coming in because I know where the speed is on that rate. And a lot of times it's me by myself, not always, but I tend to turn this on during a bridge or a breakdown, or maybe I'm introing the song myself, and I just kind of do the arpeggio picking to kind of lock it in, and then the drummer. Maybe if we played with a click, it would be a disaster.
Well, yeah.
But I've used it in the studio. But my friend Bill did it in the studio. It was great. Like we did this thing where I would hit it, and it would be on the slow, and then when the next chord came in, I'd hit it, and he'd manually hit the switch, and it would be double time. Like, I don't know. I've played it in the studio, so it can be done, but you're dialing it in per song. I set it's like Ronco. I set it and forget it. That's my setting all the time. So I don't think I really answered your question other than sometimes maybe it's the push-pull of the song. It's the drummers are used to playing with me. Between the delay and that, it kind of locks in somehow.
It does. It sounds amazing.
But I love it. Can't say enough about it. But again, if you got $35 laying around, that kind of copies maybe half of that setting, right? But it's not as warm. It's just not. But
we haven't changed any knobs. I don't think we need to. Let's go back to the clean one more time. Let's go back and forth one more time.
Okay.
We'll do the halftime.
Sorry.
I think they're pretty close.
Okay. I can listen to that all day. It's a fantastic pedal. Maybe not a super attainable pedal, and I wouldn't have it if I didn't buy it when Cesar was alive. And I regret not buying every pedal he made. The Tone Ranger, and there's a couple others because those are way out of reach at this point. I have a TS-808 original that I paid $50 for that is now worth $500. So I'm not going to go score these on Reverb. I need both kidneys at this point. But it's a fantastic pedal. But again, it was more of a dare to compare. And if anything, it's kudos to Joyo.
Yeah.
That is not a completely sterile pedal. It's not like, I think if you blindfolded me and told me that was a $35 pedal, I don't know if I'd believe you. I don't know that I would, but. So
I have another Tremolo I've played that I thought about swapping out. It's the time thing I'm still not sure about. Well, and we have some other tremolos. We might have to keep throwing some other tremolos up against this one.
Yeah.
So I picked up a Boss.
You might be able to see it back there. Where'd it go?
Somewhere. I picked up a Boss at some point.
It was
the TR2. The green one. At a Facebook Marketplace for like $30. I picked up our... there's a couple other... We might have to keep throwing stuff up against that. Maybe we'll demo a few other tremolo pedals and throw them up against that. So if that's something that interests you, please subscribe and maybe hit notifications. If not, if you're watching, if you've been with us this long, leave us a comment, about something. We'd love to talk to you about gear. And other than that...
Yes, this is PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you that you never... Hold on. I'm sorry. This pedal has so many personal connections to me. I think I'm on another planet. Take two. PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you that no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. It's kind of like if Coldplay wrote a salsa song.
You might be onto something.
Yeah, I know, right? That's cool. In the dance hall days, we were cool. Yeah, that's cool.